on dates with white men and they've asked me if I've dated black guys before is ridiculous. I was on a date with this white guy in Chicago last year and he goes, so who do you typically date? The guys that look like me? I knew exactly what he was getting at because most white guys will ask this question at some point because they're trying to figure out ultimately if you're, quote, tainted. I literally said to him, does it bother you that you think about black men so much more than they will ever think about you? And that ended the conversation, but obviously we didn't go on a second date and I do think he was pretty offended by that. But the amount of white guys, even who are, quote, liberal, who are genuinely threatened and intimidated by you going on a date with people of color is ridiculous. Because it's not just black men. If they find out that you've dated a South Asian man or you've been on dates with women, specifically women of color, they will react similarly. Although...
Hey, shalom, all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, peace and salutation to the elect and all the brothers pushing this work in sincerity and truth. This is Brother Thamine from GMS Toronto coming at you with another video. And this goes back to the curses, right? The proverb and the byword that's mentioned in Deuteronomy, proving that we are the Israelites. All right. This is the thing now that these women, these Edomite men, been asking these questions. That's the reason why now they can't really outlaw these women and banish them into the outer existence and kick them out into space. So now they're asking these questions so they can know how to pretty much gauge on which category to put these women in that's been talking to Jake, right? And the funny thing is, we are the chosen seed, okay? We are the chosen seed they tracked from Adam, right? Adam's seed from Genesis, right? This is the seed that these so-called, these Edomites read about in the Bible that they think it's theirs, right? This is our seed, the holy seed that, and having children with other nations, with these Edomite women and these other nations around us, right? And this seed within the, because of slavery and all these other things, the way we're being perceived in this society, that we are so-called, pieces of shit. But it's the opposite way, man. It's the other way around. You don't see when it comes to entertainment, because you might look down on entertainment as much, we're created to serve the Heavenly Father at the end of the day. But when you look at entertainment, this is not an easy thing to do, what these Jakes are doing, right? Go and perform at the highest level of every sport, every night when it comes to music and all this other things, right? Inventions, right? The mind and the body, the fact that the Jake's mind and body can do things like that for them to be elevated on that level. That's a minor spiritual power at the end of the day. And we have that, right? And we're still looked down upon in this society, right? We go back to the man that the Heavenly Father dealt with first, right? All the way down. So like, yeah, let me get Adam. Genesis 10, I guess. Genesis 10. Might be 10. Let me get 10. Salakia. Right. This is now these are the generation of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were the sons born after the flood, right? That's Japheth right there. That's Ham. Says unto Shem, okay? Verse 21. The father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born, right? The children of Shem, Elam, Ashur, and Arphaxad. So through Arphaxad, right, and Lud and Aram, Arphaxad, all right, that's where we came out of. This is a so-called Negro, you people who, you Edomite men who's talking shit. You call your women mud sharks. You can listen. At the end of the day, you know what it is. You know who we are through the spirit. You might not know it physically, like in the flesh or whatever have you. But spiritually, you know who we are, right? And you know what Jake bring to the table. They might not bring your modern day. Oh, I'm a father. What do you call it again? Monogamy and all that garbage. They might not bring that, but they bring something else, right? They bring healthy children. They bring a lively spirit, and they bring protection, right? And they bring the Heavenly Father with them. Whether you like it or not, at the end of the day, Jake is still protected, right? Might not be on that level as the men of the Lord, but they're still, the Heavenly Father still deals with them on a kind of certain level, right? By blessing them with certain talents, but not speaking to them like how he speaks with the men of the Lord, right? The prophets, not like that. But the Heavenly Father still deal with Jake on a certain level by giving them certain talents, right? And Arphaxad begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber, and unto Eber 2 sons were born, right? And that comes all the way down here, right? These are the sons of Shem, and the families of their tongues and their lands after their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah and the generation of the nations, and these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. This is who you're looking down on, right? The chosen seed. The chosen seed. That's who you Edomites are looking down on. I was asking these women, oh, have you fucked a black guy before? You know what I'm saying? But thou, this is Isaiah 41:8, but thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. That's who you're looking down on. The seed of the Heavenly Father chosen to serve him, right? To be his servant, to be his friend, right? And all the servants of the Heavenly Father, which are, the prophets, they're from that holy seed, and you're seeing their descendants right now in America being languished, and you're looking down on them. This comes with consequences, right? A proverb and a byword. Let's get right to the point. That's Deuteronomy 28:37, right? It says here, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. And that's exactly what this is.
It is obviously the
They're calling us mud sharks, right? Oh yeah, let's go back to 1681, I think. The year black men were outlawed for dating white women. Let's see if that was the right year. In the 1680s, I think. Yeah, it says here, in the late 17th century, particularly around 1664 to 1692, colonies like Maryland and Virginia passed strict laws criminalizing marriage and sexual relations between white women and black men by enslaved and free. So, why do you think they put this out there? Because it was happening on a very what's the word I'm looking for? A large scale. Okay. 1681 is a notable year in this history, marked by a specific legal intervention in Maryland concerning interracial marriages. It was part of a broader decade-long shift towards codifying racial boundaries. So this was happening. That's why they outlawed it. They didn't just outlaw something. You can't outlaw something that wasn't happening. So all these Edomites, they're back here again. Okay? That's why your women are telling on you. Okay? They're back here again. Right? These same men who was going by these laws, they're back here. Right? But guess what? And this time, it's way past. It's way past this shit, because you're losing your power. This was when, even free men, says here, free men and enslaved men. The women were going after these men because, they were curious, and plus to see Jake. Jake was hung. Jake looked amazing, right? Under that sun, man, right? And it's all about that jealousy, the fantasy that these Edomites have in their mind, right? It goes back to the amendment, 1664 and 1681. According to some historians, the law was amended in 1681 because the plantation owners were forcing and encouraging white indentured servants to marry enslaved black men to increase their slave holdings, which Lord Baltimore sought to stop. The 1681 change aimed to penalize masters encouraging such marriages, though it continued to restrict and heavily punish the interracial unions themselves, right? So in Virginia, Maryland, places like that, It was outlawed because these women couldn't keep their hands off Jake, just like now, right? Just like now. They recognize the power. I think some screenshots, right? Jake is, sleeping, having not even thinking about these Edomites, but these Edomites are losing sleep, right? It's pretty funny if you ask me, all right? And this is the thing, this is the demonization that they do to try to talk, Jake, if you fuck a so-called black man, you become a single parent, as if Edomite men don't make women single parent, right? Let's go to the divorce rates. Even in that book that I on whites, okay, it's very high. It's very high. And what percentage? Let's see what percentage. It says approximately 30 to 40% of marriages among white Americans end in divorce, and rates varying based on age, education, and whether it is a first or subsequent marriage. Data indicates that white women in their 40s had a divorce rate exceeding the 35 in early studies, while overall about 33% of all Americans have experienced divorce. So it's, single parents is not just Jake, okay? It's every race, mainly Edomites also. But you try to push that off on us as if we're the only one that has problems in marriages, right? This is what they do, right? The point, they make their remarks about Jake. Oh, look at you. They're pretty much trying to demonize their woman into coming back to them, right? And when the woman come back, the woman goes on a date with them. Then they ask these weird questions, and like the woman's like, "What the fuck is your problem?" Because at the end of the day, they think about dick, right? Or Jake is hung. You've been with this so-called black man. Your pussy is ruined. Jake is not even into that freaky shit like that. And even if he is, he got that from you Edomites, right? You Edomites want to do all manner of nasty shit, man. Right? When you still try to look down on us. At the end of the day, like I said, we are that chosen seed. Oh, let's go to Genesis 3. And I'm going to get out of here. Actually, Genesis 6. Right? Let me show you who we are. Genesis 6. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them. So it's talking about you Canaanites, you other nation that was on the planet back then, right? We are the sons of God. Now we are the princes of God, and you're looking down on the prince of the Heavenly Father. There's some consequence that has to be paid, right? And it's gonna be paid full in 1,000 years. If the brothers elect knows who I'm talking about, the sons of God, which the same men that you look down on, right? Saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose, right? And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for this he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. It says here they were giants, right? This is who this is who you're looking down on, right? Giants, men of renown, right? Famous men. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also that when the sons of God, which is us, the same men you look down on, came in unto the daughters of men, interracial marriages, right? And they bare children to them. The same children, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown, okay? So I'm not saying that they were righteous, but this is what we produce when we get with your women, right? We produce beautiful children, right? And that's what these women want. They don't want no plain children. They want that spirit of Jake inside of their bodies, man, right? That's what they want.
To all the white amount of times I've been
right. That's what they want. They want the spirit of Jake in them. They want the spirit of Jake in their children, right? That's what they want. They know what it is, right? They know these kings, these princes of God. One day they're gonna get that power, right? When they get that power, you know what's about to happen, man. Shalom.